Okay, this is going to be a review of the book, The Ultimate Guide to Vintage Star Wars Action Figures 1977-85. It's by Mark Bellomo, and it's all about the Kenner vintage figures. And I got it quite recently. Um, it's published by Kraus Publications, and you can get it for about £16 in the UK. It's divided into part 1 action figures, part 2 accessories. And here's the introduction, how to use this book, listing. So it's all about the Kenner figures and those that were sold in the USA. So it has bits about mint on card, all that sort of stuff. Prices. The prices in this book are totally out of date and useless. Part 1 is action figures. So here it gives you a little bit about the history of the action figures and all that sort of stuff. Early bird certificate, which is really rare. Then it goes on to the figures. So this is how each figure is presented. So a major character like R2-D2 will get 2 pages. A lesser character will get just 1 page. So like maybe the Cloud Car pilot will just get 1 page. Okay, so it says R2-D2 there. Captain Panaka, so it has a few little quotes from the character there. First appearance early bird certificate. First carded appearance 12 back. Original retail price $1.99. And any variations, so early bird, darker blue paint, or standard blue variation and then with paper label unique to the figure. Most of what is written here is not about the action figure or the action figure history. It's all about the actual character. So it's not really useful if you're a vintage collector, because you want more information about the actual history of the character or figure. Same with this Chewbacca here. So it's got the same sort of information there. First appearance, any variations, like the green lights crossbow, the darker regular version of the crossbow. I don't know if he talked about the green limbed Chewbacca, but most of this information here is about the actual character. So it's more about the history of the actual movie character and his expanded universe, rather than the actual figure, all the packaging variations and stuff like that. For that, you'd want a book like Kellerman, which is 10 times better. But this isn't such a bad book. It's not good for an advanced vintage collector. It's more of for someone that's totally new to the vintage collecting. And there's other books that are better than this. You don't get much pictures of the figures on the cards. Let's see, you just got this Princess Leia 20 back there. These prices at the bottom here are just totally erroneous and out of date. I mean, these are the sort of prices you're talking about in the late 90s. This 2015, so he should have done a better job with the pricing. Darth Vader's. So you've got all the different variations, all the first appearance on the card. Han Solo here. Big head, small head. Well, everyone knows that. C-3PO. Stormtrooper on cards. Variations would be with the sculpting. So you're not going to really learn anything new about the hobby if you're into collecting vintage figures. Death Squad Commander, Star Destroyer Commander, Jara vinyl cape, very famous. Tusken Raider, the Cantina Aliens Greedo Hammerhead, the red and blue Snaggletooth. So I think here we'll talk a little bit how this blue Snaggletooth came to be, came about, and then how it was changed to the red Snaggletooth. Walrus Man R5D4, Death Star Droid, that's a great figure. Luke X-Wing, Power Droid, Boba Fett. So Boba Fett's a really popular character. So you've got first appearance was the Mail Ray, first carded appearance 21 back. Original mail price was free with 4 proofs of purchase seals. Original retail price was $1.99. There's nothing about the tri logos here. There's a bit about the the legend of the missile firing Boba Fett and all that sort of stuff. Then we go on to Empire Strikes Back figures. Bosk. He was the first mail away figure, Bosk. Bespin guards. You've got quite a few pictures there showing you the differences in the shape of the moustache. FX7, medical droid. Han Hoff. So you've got variations to the leg molds and the skin tone. IG88 can be found with grey or silverish finish. The Snow Trooper. Hoff. There you've got the three variations: single slit eye, all that sort of stuff. Luke Bespin, Lando Christian with teeth, no teeth. First appearance was on 31 back card, same with the Luke Bespin. Variations with the Luke, so you've got yellow hair, orangish hair, and brown hair. Princess Leia with the crew neck, and then the turtleneck. Hoth Rebel Soldier with he's got a few major variations. Here he doesn't even mention the major variation, which is the dark brown vest, which goes for a lot of money. You got Yoda here, orange snake, brown snake. There's nothing about the green snake either here. So, you know, the tri logos should have been included in this because they were sold in the USA. Han Bespin, Lobot, slight mold variations. Argnaut, main variation with him is the colour of his smock. Attack Driver, main variation with that is the colour of that logo there. It could be orange or red. Princess Leia, earlier versions had reddish hair. Then it went to a darker brown hair. Imperial Commander, main two variations are the shape of the neck and the head. So you've got a sort of squattish one and a sort of longer head there. First appearance was 41 back card, same with the Leia Hoth. Rebel Commander, 41 back card, variations there. The FX21B, there's a more metallic blue version, which is slightly rarer. But most of this information is just about the characters rather than the actual action figure. So this is good if you want to learn a bit more about the actual characters, the sort of history of the characters that are presented in the book via the toys. R2 sensor scope, Black Bespin guard, Cloud Car pilot, Forlom. Obviously the name Forlom and Zuckuss got mixed up. C3PO removable limbs. So here you're going to have quite a bit of information about C3PO again, and then a little bit about the actual action figure. So about that much writing is about the actual figure that you got and how it differed from earlier releases. TIE Fighter pilot, really nice figure. First appearance was 47 back card. Zuckuss, aka Forlom, so you've got the name sort of, you know. First appearance was a 47 back card. Flat grey or metallic head, circle on back of knees or heels. So you've got a little bit of information there. Prices are just, you know, those prices would have been good for the late 90s. Admiral Akbar, so he was the first male in. It's a trap. Bit of information about Jedi. Okay, the figures. Nia Nam, Bib Fortuna. So you're not going to get any mention about the red caped Bib Fortuna because he was sold in Mexico. You've got the short mask Spiker Scout there, that's pretty good. Chief Chirper, Empress Royal Guard, Gamorrean Guard. You've got dark and light armour. General Medane. You've got the green haired variant. Does he mention that? Grey moulded, dark modified. But there is a green haired variant. 3 Medanes, Klaatu. This figure has the most variations going according to Rebel Scum, so you should check that out. Logray, Luke Skywalker obviously with the sabres, blue and green, and the snap cape, all that sort of stuff. Flesh moulded head, painted head. So Luke Jedi has a lot of variations. Leia Bosch, So there's a lot about information about, like Bosch is a successful male Ubi's bounty hunter, a race of graceful yet frail near humans with fair skin. So do you need that if you're going to be collecting the figures, that information? But it's useful if you're wanting to know about the history of the figure. So Rebel Commando, two variations of that. Main variations, painted and moulded face. Re-E's obviously there. Painted hands, non-painted hands. Squid head. Re-K. I mean, he could have done so much more with this book. He could have talked about major variations like Re-E's, the Mexican version, all that sort of stuff. What else could he have done? He could have just talked about the actual figures, all the packaging variations. He could have gone on to foreign variations, foreign packaging as well. Should have definitely included Tri-Logo. Prune Face, Rancor Keeper, Tebow, Little Ricket. So it's all. Most of this writing is going to be about the actual backstory of the figures, Power of the Force. So this was the last hurrah for the original vintage line. A-Wing Pilot, Han Carbonite, Imperial Dignitary, Imperial Gunner, Luke Stormtrooper, Amanaman, great figure that one. Anakin Skywalker, he was a mail-in as well. Really hard to get. You can get him on a Power of the Force card, but that's very rare, very, very rare. Barada. Then you've got Lando General, really nice figure. The book's about to drop. EV99, he's quite a good figure, quite frail, easy to break. Luke Endor, Yak Face, not sold in the US, so he does go into Yak Face. Then he goes on to the coins. Some of these are really valuable. The ones that weren't carded with the figures that were mail away, some of them go for quite a lot of money. Star Wars droids, so you've got the new R2 there in a cartoon style. A-Wing Pilot, Boba Fett, Jantosh, Kiamol, Jor Dusat, Kezaban, C3PO, Thal Joben, Sizey From, Tig From, Uncle Gundy, but it doesn't mention Vlix, which you should mention if just because he's such a figure legend, even though he was only sold in Brazil. Ewoks figures, so you've got Julep Scout, Julep Shaman, Lo Grey, King Gornish, Ugra Lady Gornish, Wicket Warwick, then the 12-inch figures, R2, Obi-Wan, the Boba Fett. My cousin had the Boba Fett. Man, that was really, Chewbacca, this is the only one I ever had when I was a kid, the Chewbacca. I've still got it, but I cut off the scope of the weapon. Then the Darth Vader, Han Solo, Jawa, Luke Skywalker. These figures just couldn't compete with the smaller figures. Princess Leia, C3PO, Stormtrooper, and then we go into part 2, the accessories. Okay, so now we go on to the collector stand, Cantina set, which is the Sears set, the American or US Death Star issue, and he should show the Palatoy version, but he doesn't, because that was a foreign issue. But it's a great set. Here he's sort of writing more about the actual toy and all the stuff you get. The TIE Fighter, the white TIE Fighter, the Land Speeder, which in the UK was really different. The Sonic controlled Land Speeder, X-Wing Fighter. So back in the UK we got the X-Wing with no lasers. The Creature Cantina set, that was a good set. I had the Palatoy version when I was a kid. Darth Vader's TIE Fighter, that's a nice one. The Droid Factory, Kenner set. The Imperial Troop Transporter, Land of the Jawas, 1979, it was $9.99. Imperial Troop Transporter, that was a good set. I wish I had that one. Millennium Falcon, I've still got my one of that. $30 originally in 1979. That was a great toy. You can see all about the Millennium Falcon dewback. That was a nice one. The remote controlled Jara Sandcrawler. That's a great toy. So he seems to be talking a bit more about the actual vehicles rather than the figures in this part of the book. Vinyl collector's cases. Let's see. Darth Vader collector case. Darth Vader Star Destroyer. That was a good set. I never had it though. There's the decals you got with the set. So it's nicely photographed, the book, and it is a good read, definitely. So it's worth the price if you can pick it up for about 16 quid. More collector set. Hoth attack base. Imperial attack base. That was a good set. Snowspeeder, Tauntaun. Snowspeeder was great. Trim-Pod Cloud car, and then mail away action. So this is what you could mail away in for. AT-AT, that's something I never had. You always wanted it though. Then more accessories. The Cloud City playset. That was a hard one to get. The Dagobah. So you know you've got tons of information in this, but you've got the Empire Strikes Back, Imperial Cruiser, differs with stickers. Then you've got mini rigs, more mini rigs, Slave One, Probot playset, more mini rigs, Int 4, the Rebel Transport Vehicle, the Chicken Walker ATST. You've got some of the vehicles from oops, I've lost. Book's kind of heavy. I don't want to damage it. Okay, you've got the A-Wing fighter. That's a classic. That's really hard to find. You've got the Power of the Force Tatooine skiff. That is a really hard one to find. You've got the one-man sand skimmer. These are all Power of the Force accessories. 1985. So you get an idea what this book's like. The Ewok Battle Wagon, Rancor, more TIE fighters. No die cast, so you could have mentioned the die cast. That set. Okay, so overall this book's quite good, despite its flaws, despite the fact that it doesn't really talk about the actual figures too much. It's more about the actual history of the figures. So just to give you an example, produced by one of the largest droid manufacturing corporations in the galaxy,